Prudential, Fox and Roach, a little ad for the company. We're not just your local corner real estate office. We're Prudential, Fox and Roach, the largest Prudential agency in the United States and the 5th largest home services company in the United States. And you've been invited here tonight as an opportunity because of 3 of my very excellent agents, Anna, Oscar, and Justin, who's upstairs. Hopefully when you leave tonight, you will all learn how to make some money by not paying taxes. So, welcome to the event. A legal way to make money. No pyramids here. But I really appreciate the fact you're giving our agents the time. They're quality people, and you'll get some quality information tonight from the people that are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. Okay, that was a word from our sponsor. Okay, tonight's presentation, as you can all tell and had the opportunity to rush to get here, is how to appeal New Jersey, how do you appeal your New Jersey property taxes. I'm going to do just a quick overview so that everybody gets on the same page as to what we're actually talking about, and then I'm going to turn it over to the experts to let them speak in their words about what it is that you need to know.
What most people need to understand about the appeal process are a couple important factors. Number one, as Anna said, the valuation period is as of October 1st of the pre-tax year. So anything that is occurring after that date is very difficult to put within the appraisal report. There are times when I'm able to put a sale that is transacted after October 1st, but usually that sale would have to have gone at least under contract prior to that date. So I really am tied to that date. Also, the appraisals that I provide are very similar to an appraisal that you would get for a refinance or for a sale. The aspects of appraisal are very similar in that I'm establishing value through the sales of comparable properties. Again, the main difference is that the cutoff dates of October 1st of the pre-tax year, whereas if
and that's why, as Bob was saying, really the services of an appraiser are essential. Because you as a property owner, what could you do? You could certainly go in, talk about the characteristics of your property, and you could present maybe what you believe to be comparable sales, but no sale, no other property is going to be completely identical to your house. There's going to be differences, because the differences might be it's a half a mile away from your house. It might be that it's a larger house. It might be that it sits on a larger piece of property. So you as a homeowner and me as a homeowner and even myself as an attorney, I don't have the skill to make the adjustments that are necessary to make that other property seem similar to your property. And that's really what you need to do during the course of a tax appeal hearing. As mentioned before, to try to get a hold of your property record card, because the property record card might have errors in it. It's saying like, hey, if my assessment is based on the information on this property record card, it is wrong. And I'm over-assessed because I don't have 3 bedrooms and three bathrooms in my house. I have a bath and a half. And you know that, once you take that into consideration, that should result in a reduction of my assessment. Okay. So what if all your pleas fall on deaf ears? What do you do next? Okay. Then you do have to go forward and file a tax appeal. Where would you do that? Well, the 2 places in New Jersey where you could file a tax appeal are with your County Board of Taxation or with the Tax Court of New Jersey. However, with the Tax Court of New Jersey, you're only entitled to go there on a direct appeal, which means your first stop in doing an appeal, if your assessment is more than $1 million. So, for example, if your house is assessed at $500,000, you're not even entitled to go directly to the tax court. You first have to go to the County Board of Taxation. And then if you should be dissatisfied with the judgment before the County Board, then certainly you have the right to appeal to the tax court.
I really am looking forward to questions, and hopefully I can provide you with adequate answers for your questions, because I know a lot of people usually have questions.
What if assessed value? Municipalities are often assessing at way below market value. I live in East Brunswick, and that hasn't changed in forever. My question is, how does that relate to what you're doing? In other words, your assessed value is way under market value. So how do you know if it's an appealable issue in that sense? Because it's so low, it's hard to...
Well, unless you're in a revaluation year, and you're actually, the assessment is what's called current market value.
It's not even close, right?
Chances are, as time passes, a ratio is applied to that assessment. And the ratio is, there's an upper end ratio, and a lower end ratio, and an average ratio. And as far as the appeal process is concerned, you have to prove a value outside of the corridor of the upper end ratio, which is the lower end value.
Okay.
So the assessor has a window of error. And if you're talking about a valuable property, it's a substantial window of error. It's a 15% window of error.
So, one avenue that you might keep in mind is first informally approaching the assessor to see if, based on your opinion of value and any comparable sales that you might gather, the assessor might voluntarily reduce your assessment and the property is therefore overassessed. That is really the heart of a tax appeal. And it's important to realize that, because you can't just waltz into a hearing and say, oh, I think I should get a reduction, and not rely on evidence. You have to present evidence to the tax board. Because, you know what? If you don't present evidence, the town is going to present evidence against you. And even when you do present evidence and you present your comparable sales, the town is going to present another group of comparable sales, and they're going to be arguing based on these other sales. We think the assessment is fine and should not be disturbed. So it is an adversarial hearing in the sense that your side is going to present your proofs, and then the town is going to present their proofs, and then the commissioners are going to have to decide whether or not your property is overassessed.
We currently have a window of about 1 month. Is that enough time?
Oh, more than enough.
It is.
More than enough.
To prove
More
how
than
serious you are of, getting an adjustment to your assessment. So they are, I think if you go in with a loaded gun, if you go in with your attorney, if you go in with an appraisal report, you have a much better chance.
It's quite simply, a lot of people are asking, can we prepare a CMA, and is that going to be enough to do our property tax appeal? And the answer is, it depends on your property. If you have something that there's 10 other properties exactly like yours around you that have sold exactly, and then we can do a CMA, you can actually go up there and say, I know this property, I know that property, you're the one testifying. But if you're not in that kind of situation, you really need Bob to go out there and do an appraisal, and you need Christine to stand in front of those people and beat them up until they give you what you need. That is unfortunately the reality of today. You have to remember, every time you appeal your tax assessment, you lower the ratables for your town, or the ratables, depending, tomato, the ratables, for the town. So of course, as Christine was saying, they are not so easy to do anymore. But do you want to not try because it's not easy? Now, I hope that by the end of this evening, you at least have the tools or some of the knowledge, a little bit of a primer as how to proceed, and know that you have all of us here to bounce any more questions off.
Closing comment, the Lawrence firm, a prominent law firm, been around 100 years. Robert, I've been here about 2.5 years. We've used this company a number of times. There's no luck with Robert, it's all talent. My agents, they're here to take care of what your needs are. We do more than real estate. Thank you very much for coming tonight, and hope we can be of service to you.